The thing that impresses me about them is they play with an incredibly high confidence level. They believe in each other, they believe in themselves, they believe in the coaches. Anybody can go one-on-one at any time, but they stay within the structure, they move the ball, they compete defensively, and there's no panic in what they do. So they're not susceptible to runs. They kind of stay consistent. But each of their players plays with a tremendous amount of confidence. And it was noticeable to me.
The hiccup this year was that Wisconsin-Minnesota stretch. Is there something that you've seen looking at them that's different about those games than the rest of their games?
No, not really. No.
Zink is a new player for them. What have you seen from him? He seems like a pretty dynamic, aggressive player.
I think, very aggressive, both ends, he's physical, attack guy, very confident in his ability. Again, a great ability to get to the next play. If he misses 3 in a row or turns it over, comes at you with the same level of confidence on the next play.
Have you seen Simpson's running the hook shot?
Well, it's not something you see normally with guards, especially point guards. Certainly not to the extent where you have that level of success making it. Some guys will shoot it occasionally, but they don't shoot it consistently. They don't consistently make it. That's why they don't shoot it consistently. So he has, the ability to get you on the side of him, which enables him to kind of shoot that shot. And it's been good. It's been good for him. I think he's been, in many ways, the key to everything with them. The way he's playing, he really is running the show. Recognizes that he's got really good players around him, but everything goes through him.
So what is it, I guess, that you guys have to do in this game tomorrow night if you're going to be successful?
Well, you got to do a lot of things. You want to beat a team that's 20-1. You got to play well in transition. You got to defend. You got to do it all consistently, not in spurts. You got to win the battle on the glass. They're going to, make broken play threes if you don't. So you got to fight them on the glass. You got to fight them in transition. You got to run your stuff. You got to move the ball. And you got to do it better than they do because they're going to be trying to do the same things.
I think this is your first time playing a Big Ten game on Friday night. How do you like the fact that the Big Ten's done to that?
No. I think Friday night should be, for high school games. But it's the world we live in. We made a decision as a conference to play every night. It does provide maximum exposure for our conference. So I understand it, and I support it. In that sense, I think our fans like weekend games. They consider this a weekend game. That's why it's sold out. So from that standpoint, I'm happy about it. Yeah.
Fran, their three-point defense is really elite. What makes it so challenging to get three-pointers up against these guys?
Well, they've got great length. They've got great speed. They play together defensively, and I think they're in the gaps, but they're exploding on their closeouts. I think they're a group that's aware and does a great job of anticipating where the ball's going and maybe what your action is. Just react to it. They kind of anticipate it. I think that always helps.
Do you have a plan to get guards like Wieskamp and Bohannon more shots this game?
Yeah, we have that every game. Teams are going to guard them closely. They've got the green light. I think when you go back and look at that last game, they didn't shoot enough. We have to do a better job screening for him, clearly. But, Garza and Cook were 17 for 27 and got to the free throw line a bunch in that game, and that worked for us. You score 87 on the road, should be enough, and it wasn't, because our defense in the first half was not good at all. Better in the second half, still not good enough, but you can't go on the road and give up 55 in the first half.
Given the weather problems here and everywhere,
Right.
were you able to logistically go through the last couple days without any glitches?
Yes.
And you had an extra day, was there some sense you could kind of refocus on a few things? Or?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. When you have an extra day, you can spend one day on yourselves and then the next 2 days on preparation for your opponent.
When you work on yourself, what specifically were you focusing on?
Whenever you work on yourself, it's never one thing. It's a lot of things. Obviously, the previous game, our defense wasn't good, so we spent a lot of time on that. But, we did score 87 and played pretty well offensively, and you want to make sure you continue to do that as well, so you keep working on that equally.
Did you see Joe passing up some open shots in the last couple of games? Something you saw on film, or has he been as aggressive as you need him to be?
I think he could be more aggressive, but he's not a guy that he's not going to hunt shots if they're not there. He's always been an efficient player. I mean, if you've watched him, which I know you have over the years, he's incredibly efficient. He's always shoots a high number, whether it's from 3 or from 2. Sometimes when you have a player as talented as him, and I would like him, and I encourage him to, go hunt some buckets. It's okay. We did that with Marble, and he was really good at that. Certain guys are good at that, and certain guys don't do as good a job. Same thing with Utah. I wanted him to really hunt shots, and sometimes he did, and sometimes he just played within himself. It really depends on your personality and how you see the game. And he's a guy who has the ability to affect the game in so many different ways. That's what makes him a winning player, whether it be defensively or on the glass or as a passer. He's not a turnover guy. He's not a mistake guy. So we harp on not taking bad shots, quick shots, because in this league, if you do that, it's the same as a live ball turnover. They just run it right back at you. You're playing Minnesota, you're playing Michigan. They're gonna score in transition. So he knows that. So I respect that about him. So he's just got to find that happy medium.
On the flip side, Isaiah, probably best stretch of basketball maybe of his career in these last 4 or 5 games?
Yeah, but I think you could see that coming with him. His game is so much more complete than it's ever been. He always had confidence in his ability to shoot the ball. But defensively, off the dribble, and just really doing the cerebral things that sort of complete the picture for him, it's been fun to watch because he's really worked at it, and he's studied film, and he's a young man of great character, so he wants to be a great teammate. He wants to be the best player that he can be. And so it's made a difference for us, no question.
Anything else?
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Jordan's probably one of the most selfless guys that you'll ever meet. He's not the type of guy, will come in and, be all pissed that he got 3 shots. Although it's our responsibility to get him more shots than 3. He's one of the best guards, in the country, let alone in our conference. So, as his teammate, it's part of my job, part of the rest of our jobs to make sure, he's getting his opportunities on the offensive end. But like I said, he's never the type of guy to, to complain about, shots or, his stat line. He's really put winning first, since the day I met him. So, we've been trying to do a better job, screening for him, screening for Joe, for Isaiah, making sure we're getting them looks, because when they're getting shots, it's better for offense. So, it's not just a thing that Jordan's, kind of adjusted to. It's a whole team effort trying to make sure we get him and Joe, more opportunities next time.
Something you guys can adjust during the game and figure out? Or?
Yeah, screening is going to be important. Getting out in transition is going to be important. He he's a versatile guy in terms of, you know, where he likes to get his shots off. You know, he can do it off the dribble, off the catch, transition, in half court. It doesn't really matter to him. So whatever we can get him, you know, him, Joe, Isaiah, you know, some open looks, we're going to try to do that. You know, and kind of, you know, pair with our inside attack. So just another game plan, another opportunity to try to do what we got to do best.
Thanks, Al.
I know you've answered a bunch of these. Just talk about again about you know, the sellout, the crowd. You know, exciting to be back home.
Yeah, I always love playing on the home court, especially when we got our fans coming out as strong as they will be tomorrow night. You know, they give us a huge advantage, and you know, just playing in front of, you know, 15K in Carver, Hawkeye Arena is just a huge advantage for us. So we're excited, and we'll be ready for tomorrow night.
And have you ever seen a guard do a running hook shot like Simpson does?
Never seen it. I haven't seen really many bigs be able to make it, you know, with the consistency that he makes it. So it's super impressive. You know, it kind of speaks to his skill and how much he's improved, you know, over the past few years. So another exciting guard, another good player that we get the opportunity to play against.
How do you defend something like that?
Don't let him get to his spots. You know, we kind of want to keep him out of the paint, keep him out of his scoring area, just like we do it with every other good guard, every other player really. So, you know, just try to defend him as well as possible.
I mean, a little bit. You know, we're coming in and we're practicing and working out regardless. So, I mean, you know, there's not too many days off, you know, in this part of the season. You know, it is good though, because I mean, everybody's body is a little bit warmed down. You know, it's good to have some days back, get your legs back a little bit. So it's been good.
What did you guys work on?
What do we work on?
Yeah, what have you guys been working on? You know, as a group, the defense been kind of the
Yeah,
focus?
pretty much a lot of defense. We didn't really touch on Michigan too much, you know, the first couple of days back, and we, you know, kind of dove more into them more recently. But you know, when we first came back, it was just, you know, some, you know, defensive principles and basically like our connectivity. You know, just how we as a group are playing together on the defensive end.
Stands out about Michigan's defense in particular? I mean, one of the more consistent units maybe in the country. Just what do you kind of see from them on film?
I think a lot of it has to do with their versatility. The fact that, you know, they got a bunch of guys that, you know, are around 6'5", 6'6", and 210 pounds, 215 pounds that can guard a bunch of different positions, and I think that'll help any defense, regardless of, you know, I mean, they're you know, one of the better ones in the country, but you know, they'll do switching and they'll do stuff like that, and they don't get hurt too much because of the size and versatility that their guys have. So I think that's one of the main things.
Simpson seems to kind of really drive their defense. How important is that at the point guard position, and what do you got to do to kind of combat what he does?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been a good defender. You know, he's quick, he's strong, but you know, as we're trying to get into our stuff, we just need to make sure the timing doesn't get too messed up by his pressure, and just try to, you know, make sure we're getting into our stuff the way that we need to.
Did you guys see what kind of happened to the Michigan team when they had that week-long hiccup with the loss at Wisconsin and the tough time with Minnesota, that you guys think there's something there you can, you know, take advantage of yourselves?
You know, I think at this point in the season, I think we're very focused on ourselves. You know, to be honest, I didn't even know that they had that week long. I knew that they lost to Wisconsin, and I saw some of their Minnesota game. But I think we're just, you know, we know how dangerous of a team they are, and I think we're going into it with the same mindset. You know, we're trying to defend, you know, our home court and just come out and play really well, especially on the defensive end.
What have you guys